You have 60 seconds to explain why I shouldn't kill you.
The gun barrel looked bigger than it should. Zara's eyes fixed on it, cold steel catching the amber glow of Seoul's skyline through floor-to-ceiling windows. 6 men surrounded her, expensive suits tailored to hide weapons. The leather couch beneath her was butter-soft. Italian, probably. It was the kind of luxury people died for. You have 60 seconds to explain why I shouldn't kill you. The voice cut through her disorientation, Korean accent wrapped around perfect English, each word precise as a scalpel. Zara's gaze shifted from the gun to the man behind the desk. Kang Tae-hyun. She didn't know his name yet, but she recognized power when she saw it. Mid-30s, sharp features, eyes like black ice. His hands rested on the desk, steady. Controlled. A man who'd never needed to raise his voice to be obeyed. 50 seconds, he said. Not looking at his watch. He didn't need to. Zara's throat was sandpaper. She tried to sit up but realized her hands were zip-tied behind her back. Her mind raced, piecing together fragments. The office. Breaking in. Sitting down for just a second. Oh God. She'd passed out. I'm looking for someone, she managed, voice cracking. The scarred man to Tae-hyun's right stepped forward, hand moving to his holster. Boss, let me. Tae-hyun raised one finger. The man froze. 40 seconds. Think. Zara forced her breathing to slow. Show no fear. Predators smell terror. Marcus Chen, she said, steadier now. I'm a debt collector. He's American and he owes my company $500,000. I tracked him to this building. I thought, her stomach dropped. I thought this was his office. Something flickered in Tae-hyun's eyes. Recognition? No. Calculation. You broke into my private office. His voice went softer. Somehow that was worse. Picked my lock. Sat in my chair. Pause. And fell asleep. Heat flooded her face. Not fear, humiliation. I didn't fall asleep, she snapped before thinking. I passed out. 36 hours traveling, jet lag, she bit her tongue. Why was she explaining herself? Tae-hyun's mouth curved. Not a smile. Something colder. Min-jae. Check our files. Marcus Chen. The scarred man, Min-jae, pulled out a tablet. His fingers moved fast. Silence stretched like a wire pulled taut. Zara's heart slammed against her ribs. Min-jae's eyebrows rose. Boss. Marcus Chen owes an outstanding debt, $3 million. He disappeared 6 months ago. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. Tae-hyun stood, movements fluid and predatory. As he rounded the desk, Zara noticed the gun beneath his jacket. Not for show. It was well maintained and obviously frequently used. He stopped 3 feet away, studying her like a chess piece. Interesting, he murmured. We're looking for the same rat. His eyes narrowed. Who sent you? I told you. Who sent you? Each word landed like a punch in my gut. Nobody. Frustration boiled over. I'm not a spy. I'm a debt collector from New York who made the extremely stupid mistake of breaking into the wrong office. That's it. Tae-hyun crouched to her eye level. This close, she saw gold flecks in his dark eyes. Smelled his cologne, cedar and something sharp. Saw the faint scar on his jaw. Ms. Bennett. Zara Bennett. Ms. Bennett. Silk over steel. 2 options. 1, I call the police. Breaking and entering. You'll be deported and jailed. Career over. He tilted his head. 2, you work for me. Find Marcus Chen and recover both debts. Zara's stomach dropped. I don't work for criminals. The room went arctic. Min-jae's hand moved toward his gun. Other men shifted, ready. But Tae-hyun just laughed, humorless, cold. Criminals, he repeated, tasting the word. How moral. Tell me, Ms. Bennett, what are debt collectors? You threaten people. Ruin credit. Harass families. Destroy lives for money. He leaned closer. We're not so different. I'm just more honest. The words stung because they weren't entirely wrong. She'd seen the tears. The desperation. Families torn apart over unpayable debts. 2 weeks, Tae-hyun said, standing. Find Marcus Chen. Then you're free. His smile was arctic. Refuse, and every debt collection agency in America knows you broke into a foreign executive's office. Your reputation destroyed by morning. You're a black woman. That's not good for your reputation. Zara's hands clenched into fists behind her back. Survival instinct, honed by years of dangerous collection calls, told her to be smart. Fine, she ground out. 2 weeks. Excellent. Tae-hyun nodded to Min-jae. Cut her loose. Guest quarters. As zip ties fell away and blood rushed back to her hands, Zara rubbed her wrists. Glared at Tae-hyun's back as he returned to his desk. One more thing, Ms. Bennett. He didn't turn around. 48 hours ago, you were in New York. How did you end up unconscious in my office? I want the whole story. The room they gave Zara was small but comfortable. There was a single bed, a desk, and a chair. Everything was clean and impersonal, like a hotel. Except hotels didn't lock from the outside. Min-jae stood in the doorway, hand resting on his gun. Rules, he said, accent thick but English clear. You don't leave without permission. Don't speak to staff. Don't touch anything that isn't yours. Eat what you're given. Sleep when told. He set a cheap phone on the desk. For communication with the boss only. No other numbers work. No internet. Try anything else, his expression said the rest. Questions? Zara had 100. She swallowed them all. No. Good. Min-jae turned to leave, paused. Advice? Free advice. He looked back, something almost like pity crossing his face. Don't make the boss angry. You're useful now. Stay useful. The lock clicked behind him. Zara stood frozen, then her legs gave out. She made it to the bed before collapsing. Her body screamed exhaustion. How long since she'd really slept? 40 hours? More? What the hell had she gotten into? She should be terrified. Should be crying or screaming or pounding on the door. But exhaustion had numbed everything. Her eyes closed despite herself. Sleep dragged her under. Harsh fluorescent light woke her. Not sunlight, bulbs blazing overhead. Zara jerked awake, disoriented. A woman stood in the doorway. She was in her mid-30s and beautiful in a cold way. She wore a designer suit probably worth more than Zara's entire life. Her expression was pure contempt. Breakfast is in 10 minutes, she said with perfect English dripping disdain. Don't be late. The boss hates tardiness. Her eyes traveled over Zara's wrinkled clothes and messy hair. Maybe try to look presentable. We have standards. And you are? Yuna Park. I manage operations for Mr. Kang. The name finally gave Zara something concrete. I'll also monitor your work. When you fail, I report directly to him. Her smile was sharp. I hope you're as competent as you claim. For your sake. She left without waiting for response. Zara stumbled to the bathroom. The mirror showed someone who'd been dragged through hell. She splashed water on her face, tried to tame her hair. Her suit was hopeless, wrinkled beyond salvation. The phone buzzed. Message from unknown number, dining room. Now. TK. TK as in Tae-hyun Kang? She followed the scent of coffee. The corridor opened into a space blending traditional Korean architecture with modern luxury. Paper screens. Dark wood. Understated elegance screaming money. The dining room held a long table. Tae-hyun sat at the head, Min-jae to his right, Yuna to his left. 2 other men she didn't recognize. All conversation stopped when she entered. Ms. Bennett. Tae-hyun gestured to a seat at the far end. Join us. The distance wasn't accidental. Neither was the seating, her isolated, his inner circle surrounding him. Power dynamics made visible. Zara sat, ignoring the stares. Staff appeared, setting down plates. They were having traditional Korean breakfast, rice, soup, banchan. Zara had no idea what half of it was. You slept 14 hours, Tae-hyun said conversationally, as if they were colleagues, not captor and captive. Recovered? Enough to work. Good. He set down his chopsticks. Today you begin. Full report on Marcus Chen, everywhere he's been in Seoul, everyone he's contacted, everywhere he might hide. You have access to our database and resources. Use them. His eyes locked on hers. But if I find you've tried contacting anyone outside this compound, or accessing anything beyond your assignment, he let it hang. Min Jae will escort you somewhere less comfortable. Understood? Understood. Also, his voice dropped. My people have been looking for Chen for 6 months. They found nothing. You're here because you're supposed to be exceptional. He paused. Don't disappoint me. The threat hung heavy. Yuna leaned forward. If I may, sir. Perhaps Ms. Bennett doesn't understand how things work here. In Korea. This isn't America. Her eyes found Zara's. Our methods are different. Our culture is different. An outsider, she let the word hang. Especially one who doesn't speak Korean, doesn't know our customs. I'm not sure she's equipped. The dismissal was clear. Not just professional but personal. It was racial. Heat rose in Zara's chest. She'd dealt with this her whole life. The assumptions. The microaggressions. It was all racism dressed as concern. You're right, she said evenly. I don't know your customs. Don't speak your language fluently. I'm a South African, an outsider in your books. She met Yuna's gaze. But I found 3 supposedly untraceable targets last year. Recovered impossible debts. Not because I knew local customs. Because I understand people. She turned to Tae-hyun. Marcus Chen is a person. He's scared and running. Scared people make patterns. I'll find him. Silence followed. Then Tae-hyun's mouth curved. It might have been a smile. You have 48 hours, Ms. Bennett. Prove it. The office was windowless. It had a desk and a computer. Zara was going through files in Korean she couldn't read. And Min Jae stood by the door like a statue with a gun. I can't work with you hovering, Zara said, booting the computer. Boss's orders. I watch. You work. She bit back a retort. Fine. The computer accessed what Tae-hyun called their database. Zara opened it and understood why Marcus stayed hidden. This wasn't public records. This was private intelligence, financial transactions, surveillance photos, and intercepted communications. They were all obtained illegally. What kind of operation was this? Focus. Get out in 2 weeks. Marcus Chen, 42, originally Taiwan, naturalized U.S. citizen. Import-export, 15 years. Married once, divorced. No kids. Financially stable until 6 months ago. Then everything changed. Spending spiked. Large cash withdrawals. Wire transfers to Cayman accounts. And payments to Choi Enterprises. That name appeared 3 times in surveillance reports. Never explained. Who are the Choi family? Zara asked Min Jae. His expression darkened. Not your concern. If Marcus is connected. Not your concern. But his reaction told her everything. The Choi family was important. Dangerous. She kept digging. Marcus's last known location, 3 days ago, hotel in Gangnam. After that, nothing. He'd gone dark. Ditched his phone. Stopped using credit. Smart. But everyone made mistakes. Zara pulled up hotel surveillance. Watched Marcus check in. Leave 6 hours later, bag over his shoulder. He was walking quickly but not running. Trying to blend in. She zoomed on the bag. It was an expensive designer brand. The kind someone took when planning to stay somewhere nice. But where? She cycled through databases. Hotels. Rentals. Nothing under his name or known aliases. Think. You're Marcus Chen. You've stolen millions. Running from dangerous people. Where do you go? Not hotels, too traceable. Not rentals, they require documentation. Somewhere off-grid. Cash-based. No questions. Zara searched for cash businesses near the hotel. Guest houses. Small inns. Places without online presence. There. 3 blocks from the hotel. A guest house. No website. Just a phone number and address. She grabbed her phone and dialed. A Korean guy answered. English? Zara tried. There was a pause. Then a heavily accented, yes? I'm looking for a guest. American man. Checked in maybe 3 days ago. No Americans here. But the hesitation before answering told her everything. I'm willing to pay for information. No Americans. The line went dead. Zara looked at Min Jae. I need to visit that guest house in person. Boss has to approve. Then call him. Min Jae's jaw tightened, but he pulled out his phone and spoke rapid Korean. A pause. More conversation. He hung up. 1 hour. I drive. You don't speak to anyone without permission. They were making progress. The guest house was old and slightly run down. The kind surviving on cash and discretion. The owner was a woman in her 60s, face lined with suspicion. Min Jae spoke Korean. The woman shook her head repeatedly, denying everything. But her eyes kept flickering to Zara. They were nervous and calculating. Tell her I'm not police, Zara said quietly. Tell her I just want to talk to him. Min Jae translated. The woman's expression softened slightly. She spoke rapid Korean. Min Jae listened, asked questions, listened more. Finally he turned to Zara. He was here but he left yesterday morning. He paid cash but he didn't say where he was going. Did he make calls or meet anyone? More conversation. The woman disappeared and returned with paper. The handwriting was in English. It was a phone number. He asked to use her phone, Min Jae translated. Then, he called this number. They spoke for 5 minutes. Zara photographed it. Thank you. Tell her thank you. Back in the car, she examined the number. It had Seoul's area code. She handed her phone to Min Jae. Can your people trace this? Already sent it. 30 minutes later, back at the compound, Zara barely made it to her room before exhaustion crashed. Her body still hadn't adjusted. Her brain felt like static. She lay on the bed, thinking through puzzle pieces. Marcus Chen. Choi family. Phone number. There was a pattern. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from TK, report. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. Don't be late. Tomorrow she'd stand before Tae-hyun and prove she was worth keeping alive. No pressure. Morning brought shouting. Korean voices, angry and urgent. Footsteps running past her door. Something had happened. Zara pressed her ear to the door. She couldn't make out words, but the tone was clear, crisis. 5 minutes later, Min Jae burst in without knocking. Conference room. Now. What's? Move. The conference room was chaos. Tae-hyun stood at the head, his usual composure cracked. Yuna was on her phone, speaking rapidly. Other men crowded around a laptop. Ms. Bennett, Tae-hyun said, voice dangerously quiet. Tell me you have good news. Zara faltered at the tension. I tracked Marcus to a guest house in Gangnam. He left yesterday but made a call. Your people traced it? They did. Tae-hyun's eyes were black ice. The number belongs to a Choi family associate. He pulled up a photo. It was security footage from last night, showing Marcus Chen getting into a car. 2 hours ago, our informant spotted him in Busan. The Choi family has people there. If they get him first, we lose leverage, Yuna finished. They gain it over us. How long to Busan? Zara asked. 3 hours by car, Min Jae said. Then we leave now. We? Yuna's laugh was cutting. You think you're coming? Marcus trusts blacks more than Koreans, Zara said, thinking fast. If you storm in with guns, he'll run or fight. But if I approach, act like I'm alone, like I tracked him independently, she looked at Tae-hyun. I can get him to talk. Trust me. Then your people move in. Tae-hyun studied her. The moment stretched. Everyone waited. She makes a point, Min Jae said quietly. Yuna started protesting, but Tae-hyun raised a hand. We leave in 20 minutes. Ms. Bennett comes. But, his eyes locked on hers. You follow my orders exactly. No improvisation. No heroics. You're bait. That's all. He stepped closer, voice dropping. If this goes wrong, if Marcus runs or dies or the Choi family gets him because of something you do, you'll wish Min Jae had killed you in that office. Zara's mouth went dry. But she nodded. Understood. Good. He turned away. Min Jae, prep the team. Yuna, coordinate with Busan contact. Move. The room exploded into action. Zara stood frozen, heart hammering. She just volunteered as bait for a mafia manhunt in a foreign city. What was she thinking? But watching Tae-hyun coordinate with military precision, she realized, this was her chance. Find Marcus, recover the money and go home. She'd suffered 2 weeks of hell but she'd soon receive her freedom. She just had to survive. They left in 3 cars. Tae-hyun's in the middle, Zara beside him in the back. Min Jae drove. Armed men flanked them. Seoul gave way to highways, then the countryside, then Busan sprawl. The ocean glittered in the afternoon sun. Beautiful. She couldn't enjoy it. Here's what happens, Tae-hyun said, breaking the silence. Voice all business. We have Marcus's location, an apartment in Houndy district. You approach alone. Knock. Tell him you tracked him independently. That you want to help. He pulled out a small device, barely larger than a button. This goes in your jacket. Audio feed. We hear everything. Zara took the device. Hands steady. Good. What if he doesn't answer? He will. Our informant says he's paranoid but sloppy. He keeps checking the peephole. Once he sees a woman alone, a black woman, he'll be curious. Tae-hyun's eyes found hers. 5 minutes to get him talking. Then we come in. And if the Choi family shows? Get down and stay down. His jaw tightened. They won't expect you and they won't know who you are. You're invisible to them. Use that. The cars pulled into an older neighborhood. It had narrow streets and buildings that had seen better days. Where people minded their own business. They parked 3 blocks from the target. Min Jae handed Zara a photo, Marcus Chen, recent surveillance. She memorized his face. Remember, Tae-hyun said as she prepared to leave. 5 minutes. Then we move whether you're clear or not. Zara nodded and stepped into humid Busan air. The walk felt like miles. Every person might be Choi family. Every shadow might hide danger. Her heart hammered. She kept her pace steady and confident. The building was a walk-up. 4th floor with no elevator. She climbed stairs, breathing loudly in the concrete stairwell. Apartment 403. Faded blue door. No sound inside. Zara raised her hand and hesitated. This was the point of no return. She knocked, 3 firm raps. There was silence. Then cautious footsteps approached. Who is it? A muffled voice asked. American accent. Marcus. Mr. Chen? I'm Zara Bennett. Apex Recovery Solutions. She kept her voice friendly. Non-threatening. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. There might be a way to resolve this without. The door flew open. Marcus Chen looked worse than his photos. Unshaven. Dark circles. Sweating. He had a gun in his trembling hand. How did you find me? Panic edged his voice. I'm good at my job. Zara kept hands visible. Can I come in? Please. I'm alone. I just want to help. His eyes darted past her, checking the hallway. You're lying. They sent you. Kang sent you. Zara's blood turned cold. He knew Tae-hyun's name. I don't know who that is, she lied smoothly. I work for an American debt collection agency. You owe money. I'm here to negotiate repayment. She took a careful step forward. Marcus, you're in trouble. But maybe we can fix this. Together. For a moment, he wavered. She saw desperation, exhaustion, and fear. Then his eyes focused past her on something in the hallway. His face went white. No, he whispered. No, no, no. Zara spun. There were 3 men at the hall's end. Not Tae-hyun's people. These were different men and they were moving fast. The Choi family. Inside. Marcus grabbed her arm and yanked her into the apartment, then slammed the door. Gunfire erupted and bullets splintered the door. Marcus dove behind a couch, pulling Zara with him. Wood and plaster exploded. Stay down. Marcus screamed. Zara's ears rang. Her body moved on instinct, scrambling behind cover, making herself small. Through chaos, one thought went through her mind: Tae-hyun was listening. He'd heard. Help was coming. The shooting stopped. She heard angry and commanding voices in Korean. Someone kicked the door. It held. Barely. Marcus hyperventilated beside her. They found me. I'm dead. I'm... Shut up and think. Zara hissed. Is there another way out? The fire escaped by the window. But they'll see. Another kick. The door splintered. Go. Zara shoved him toward the window. Now. She grabbed a lamp, the only weapon in reach, and threw it at the door as it crashed open. It shattered against the first man through. He stumbled. That bought Marcus 5 seconds. He was through the window, onto the fire escape. Zara lunged after him. A hand caught her ankle and yanked her back. She hit the floor hard. Air exploded from her lungs. She looked up into a gun barrel. The man holding it spoke Korean. She didn't understand words, but intent was crystal clear. Then the window exploded inward. Tae-hyun came through like violence incarnate. In one smooth motion, he disarmed the man, twisted his wrist, and drove him into the wall. Min-jae was right behind, his gun raised. More of Tae-hyun's men poured through the door. The Choi family scattered. One went for Zara again. She rolled, grabbed the broken lamp base and swung with everything. It connected with his knee and he went down screaming. Zara. Tae-hyun's voice cut through the chaos. Fire escape. She scrambled up, through the window. Metal stairs rattled. Marcus was already at ground level, running. Tae-hyun was beside her suddenly. This way. He grabbed her hand, grip iron strong, and pulled her down the stairs. Behind them, there was gunfire and shouting, the battle spilling into the street. They hit ground running. Marcus was 50 yards ahead, sprinting. Stop him. Tae-hyun barked into radio. One of his men appeared from a side street and tackled Marcus. They went down hard. Zara's lungs burned and her legs shook, the adrenaline wearing off. They reached Marcus. He was on the ground, hands zip-tied, gasping. Blood on his face. Secure him, Tae-hyun ordered. Get him to the car. Min-jae and another man hauled Marcus up and started dragging him. Tae-hyun turned to Zara. For the first time, his composure was cracked. His hair was disheveled, there was blood on knuckles and his chest was heaving. Are you hurt? No. I don't think so. His eyes scanned her anyway. Checking and making sure. You grabbed a lamp against a man with a gun. It was all I had. There was more gunfire. It was close. Too close. They're flanking, someone shouted. Tae-hyun's hand found Zara's again. Move. Now. They ran through narrow alleys, between buildings. Pursuit close behind. His men lay covering fire. They burst onto a larger street. There were cars waiting with engines running. The doors were open. Get in. Min-jae was behind the wheel, Marcus secured in the back. Tae-hyun pushed Zara toward the second car. She dove in. He followed and slammed the door. The cars peeled out, tires screaming. Through the rear window, Zara saw the Choi family emerge with 3 cars. They were also giving chase. They're following. I know. Tae-hyun was on his phone. Barking orders. Coordinating. The driver took corners at impossible speeds. Other cars honked and swerved. Pedestrians scattered. Behind, the Choi family kept pace. They wound through Busan, industrial areas and residential blocks. The chase felt endless. Then ahead, bottleneck. Construction. One lane open. Hold on, the driver shouted. He gunned it, shooting through the gap. Barely. Behind, Choi's lead car tried to follow. Clipped concrete. Spun out. Cars behind had to brake and swerve. Distance opened. 50 yards. 100. 200. Highway, Tae-hyun said tersely. Lose them. They merged onto a highway toward Seoul. The driver pushed limits. The Choi family fell farther behind until they were just dots. Then nothing. Zara slumped in her seat. Hands shaking now. Adrenaline crash hitting hard. Tae-hyun watched her. She felt his gaze but couldn't meet it. She'd just survived multiple gunfights. In a foreign country. Working for the Korean Mafia. You saved my life, he said quietly. Almost wonderingly. What? In the apartment. That lamp. The man you hit, he had a clean shot. At me. You distracted him. Zara finally looked at him. His expression was unreadable, but something had shifted. The ice had cracked. I don't let people die, she heard herself say. Not if I can help it. Even cold-hearted bastards who kidnapped me. For one moment, Tae-hyun's mask fell. She saw surprise. Confusion. Maybe respect. Then the mask slammed back. Rest, he said, looking away. Long drive. And when we get back, the real work begins. Marcus Chen has questions to answer. Zara closed her eyes. Exhaustion pulled. But sleep wouldn't come because she'd crossed a line. She wasn't just his captive anymore. She wasn't just the debt collector forced to work. She'd saved his life and fought beside him. She'd survived with him. Everything had changed. And she had no idea what came next. If you're hooked and need to know what happens when they interrogate Marcus, hit that subscribe button right now. Episode 2 drops soon and you do not want to miss it. Comment below, do you think Zara made the right choice? Team Zara or Team Tae-hyun? Smash that like button, let's hit 100 likes and I'll drop episode 2 early. To be continued.